Hello everyone, it's 10:30 a.m. here in New York City, and we are going to start the segment with Ananda Sukarlan from Indonesia. Now, as expected, this is a 12-hour marathon, and we have 13 guests, composers from around the world, and sometimes the internet does not cooperate in certain parts of the world. So Ananda Sukarlan, who is now in Indonesia, it's 10:30 p.m. there right now, he's not able to connect. However, I found him on WhatsApp. So I don't know, Ananda, can you hear me? Can we see you here? No, we can't see. Oh, yes, we can. I don't know if I will show you my screen. This is Ananda, and you can say hello, but unfortunately he's unable to use the broadcast studio. So we just have this very bad connection here. So I will perform his new piece, written for the 32 Bright Clouds project for you. And if it works, then we will add him. Let's see, are you able to say something? We can check and see if you can be audible on the screen. Can you say something, Ananda? Hello? Yes. Are you able to hear him? Let's see, I'm turning this as loud as possible. Okay, I think you are audible. This is one of the fun parts of I guess the the internet. Yes. Okay.
No, I think
Maybe not so well. So I will introduce your piece, and perhaps we will send our viewers via Facebook and YouTube. We will send them a link to a separate conversation that is pre-recorded. We will send it to you later. But right now, I'll just speak about your piece and perform your work. And but you can say hello to everyone. You can see that we try to connect with Indonesia right now, and the internet simply did not cooperate. Okay. Thank you, Ananda. I hope you can watch this broadcast. So, let's see. So we have actually this work from Indonesia by Ananda, as you saw, who was unfortunately unable to connect. This work is called No More Moonlight over Jakarta. And in fact, this is the very first piece that was written for my 32 Bright Clouds project. If you're joining for the first time today, this is the middle of the second hour of a 12-hour presentation celebrating Beethoven's 250th birthday today. And we are celebrating by introducing new music related to Beethoven from composers around the world. These new compositions were written for a project that I curated called 32 Bright Clouds, Beethoven Conversations Around the World. And in this project, I go to different countries of conflict and unrest, and commission works all united through a message of peace. And to create that connection, each one of the new compositions is using this peace motif from Beethoven's Missa Solemnis. That's the very final section of the work, the Dona Nobis Pacem section, Grant Us Peace. And I'd like to ask the producers if they are there to perhaps show the slide that has the photo from the facsimile of Beethoven's Missa Solemnis. So at some point, perhaps we will have that showing on the screen. And this particular motif, I call it the peace motif, the Dona Nobis Pacem motif, I chose because Beethoven wrote, on top of the notes, he wrote a call for inward and outward peace. And that message, inward peace first, then outward peace, that message is at the center of the entire 32 Bright Clouds project. Now, when I first contacted Ananda from Indonesia to write this new work for me, he immediately said, "Can I please have the Moonlight Sonata?" So, in addition to the peace motif, each one of the new works is also connected to one of Beethoven's 32 piano sonatas. So, that particular sonata that he chose, the Moonlight, is because of the particular dedication of the work. The work is dedicated to a man named Ahok. Was the imprisoned ex-governor of Jakarta at the time that this piece was written. And Ananda was creating this work in his honor and as part of efforts to have him released from prison. You can look up Ahok. It's a very long story, which we won't get to right now. We are focusing on the music today, but it's interesting because that particular connection, first of all, Ahok's name, as it happens in Indonesian, means moonlight. So, of course, there's this immediate connection with Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. And the piece itself is called No More Moonlight over Jakarta, since Ahok was imprisoned. But it was very kind of both shocking to me, and I was very grateful because when the piece was completed, in fact, my premiere of the work, which took place, of all places, took place in South Korea. I was there and performed the piece for the very first time. When I performed the work, I was contacted by the organization Amnesty International, and Amnesty International asked if they could use that premiere, that occasion of the premiere of No More Moonlight over Jakarta, dedicated to Ahok, to promote their attempts, to help with their attempts, support their attempts of releasing Ahok from prison. So there was this press release by Amnesty International, and the piece was shown at that press conference, that is. So I was very touched by that, and the fact that music and this type of commissions can make a difference, even a little difference in different parts of the world. That was very moving to me, and that certainly gave me a lot of energy and motivation to continue with this commissioning project. So let me just show you a few things about Ananda's work, No More Moonlight over Jakarta, the connection with Beethoven, and then I'll perform the piece for you. So, okay. So first of all, there are many musical styles in this work, and Ananda's attempt was to show that Jakarta is a melting pot of people from many different cultures. So it starts this way, and it's a kind of it sounds a little bit like Chinese moons. And this pattern is also very similar to maybe Ravel's Ondine, right? Also influenced by Chinese modes. So very, very interesting here. Although we are here connected primarily to Beethoven. So it starts this way. Now the first time that the peace motif appears, we have it on top of a kind of popular music rhythm. So we have China, we have Pop's music. A little bit of jazz here. Many different styles. And we have something that's really just a beautiful way of using traditional material from Indonesia. So of course in Indonesia we have gamelan music, and here it's a Javanese gamelan. Now if you remember, this piece is connected to Beethoven's Moonlight. We all know the Moonlight Sonata, I think. That's Beethoven's Moonlight. And what Ananda does with it here, which is really masterful, he takes this opening of the Moonlight Sonata, and on top of it, you will hear gamelan music. I'll demonstrate. also a connection to the third movement from Beethoven's Moonlight. So this is the third movement of Beethoven. And occasionally we will get a little snippet of this. For example, this is from Ananda's piece. But even a more direct actual quote. This is the third movement of Beethoven. And this is from Ananda's No More Moonlight over Jakarta. It's a lot of fun to play this work. And one perhaps final example that I want to show you is the way Ananda uses the peace motif from the Missa Solemnis towards the end of his work. And here he does it in the form of a little fugue. So the peace motif becomes the subject of the fugue, and in the left hand and then the right hand you will hear an inversion of it. And I always think of this section as a kind of Busoni-like type of texture and material. Pianistically, just a lot of fun to play, very satisfying. And because Ananda has a great sense of humor, when I first saw this piece, I couldn't believe it. I thought this was going to be connected to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. However, other sonatas seem to have appeared in this work as well. So, for example, this is Beethoven's Tempest in D minor. This is from Beethoven Tempest Sonata. And in Ananda's piece, we have something like this. So Ananda created a lot of interesting surprises for me as the performer here. So let me play now the complete work. This is Ananda Sukarlan's No More Moonlight over in Jakarta, and afterwards we will have a few minutes if any questions come either through the Facebook stream or YouTube. I believe that they will be posted here and I'll be able to answer them hopefully. So this is No More Moonlight over Jakarta by Ananda Sukarlan from Indonesia. Hi everyone, I'm back at my desk. That was Ananda Sukarlan's No More Moonlight over Jakarta. And this is a piece, in fact the very first work that was written for my 32 Bright Clouds project. This is a project where I go around the world and commission new works from composers in countries of conflict with all the pieces unified through a message of peace. And that message is expressed through a motif from Beethoven, a peace motif as I call it. It's from the final section of Beethoven's Missa Solemnis, the Dona Nobis Pacem section. And perhaps the producers here in the back room will be able to show the motif frame on the screen. And if they do, you'll see Beethoven wrote by hand, there it is. Thank you very much. So the one that's the larger screen, you can see the corner there, that's Beethoven's dedication that says a call for inward and outward peace. And that he wrote right above that peace motif. The peace motif shows right in the smaller frame, right at the top, that's the soprano line at the top. And those group of notes appear in each one of these new compositions from around the world. Ananda was going to be with us. If you were here at the beginning of the segment, I showed you that he joined us here on my phone by WhatsApp. However, he was unable to connect to the broadcast studio. He's in Indonesia. It's a 12-hour difference, and I guess the internet was not cooperating late at night there. But this was his wonderful work for the 32 Bright Clouds project, and I wanted to just say before we end this segment, in a few minutes we will have the composer from Myanmar, all the way from Burma at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, joining us in a few minutes. Before we do that, I wanted to ask you if you're interested, if you wish. This day, it's 12-hour presentation. We are presenting this for free, and it's a celebration and an honoring Beethoven and his 250th birthday today. However, if you're inspired and if you feel like you want to contribute something to the project, to the commissioning efforts, and to the composers, I'm about more than halfway, but not